Good afternoon. Now we're looking at Colossians 1:15b. Colossians 1:15 NASB says, He is the image of the invisible God. And B, the last phrase, is the firstborn of all creation. Critical phrase. The next phrase in Colossians 1:15, which defines Jesus Christ, is in the Greek, is rendered firstborn of all creation in the NASB. If it were intended that this passage indicate that Jesus was the first to be created, born human, then the Greek word protokotisis should have been written to make the point absolutely clear, but it's not there. For the Greek word prototokos, rendered firstborn, does not necessarily mean first created. Prototokos is found 7 times in the Greek Bible. It means first in rank and heir, or to have preeminence in position, not in origin. The other Greek word for created is protoktisis. It is not used to describe who Jesus Christ is in Scripture. Jesus is presented throughout Scripture as before all things, before all creation, hence uncreated. He is before all things, the Creator, who is separate from his creation in this regard, albeit he is God, hence he is omnipresent. A creature cannot be the Creator. The position of Creator is reserved for God alone, as it is clearly indicated in Colossians 1:15b to 20. Take a look at the verses as they appear below. Furthermore, there are several passages in the Bible where someone is spoken of as being firstborn when they're not actually the first person born. An example that is used by many is the example of Manasseh and Ephraim. Manasseh was born first, with Ephraim being the second child. Genesis 41:51 to 52. However, later it is Ephraim that is spoken of as being firstborn, Jeremiah 31:9. This is because firstborn refers to position. The usual definition given is preeminence. This is also shown in Psalm 89:27, where God says that he would make David the firstborn. Obviously, David was not the first one born to his father Jacob, but in regards to position, David would be king, and thereby preeminent over everyone in Israel, and Egypt, except for Pharaoh, for that matter. Although prototokos may in certain contexts be rendered firstborn in the sense of being born as a human being first in the chronological order of time, hence to be part of creation. In the context of Colossians chapter 1, Jesus Christ is firstborn over all creation in the sense of being preeminent, i.e. being absolutely superior to mankind in all of creation, who is uncreated and eternal God. For the Word is creator of all things that have been created. Look at John 1:3. I.e., he is God. He therefore could not be part of creation if he created all things. So, the Greek word prototokos, rendered firstborn in Colossians 1:15b, denotes 2 things of Christ. He preceded the whole of creation, and he is sovereign over all creation. In the Hebrew Bible, the Old Testament, a firstborn child had not only priority of birth, but also the dignity and superiority that went with it. We have examples in Exodus 13:2 to 15 and Deuteronomy 21:17. So the description firstborn was not a fairly common Old Testament designation of the Messiah God. In Psalm 89:27 it says, I will appoint him my firstborn, the most exalted of the kings of the earth. While this regal psalm refers to David, it also designates the Messiah, as seen in Revelation 1:5, where Christ is called the firstborn from the dead, Colossians 1:18, and the ruler of the kings of the earth. So firstborn implies both Christ's priority to all creation in time, being creator, and his sovereignty over all creation in rank. Note that Jehovah's Witnesses wrongly add the word other 5 times in this passage in their New World Translation when it's not present in the original text. So the New World Translation has, "He is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn of all creation, because by means of him all other things were created in the heavens and on the earth, the things visible and the things invisible, whether they are thrones or lordships or governments or authorities." And then again they add other. "All other things have been created through him and for him, as if he was created, which he was not. Also he is before all other things, and by means of him all other things were made to exist. And he is the head of the body, the congregation. He is the beginning, the firstborn from the dead, so that he might become the one who is first and in all things, because God was pleased to have all fullness to dwell in him, and through him to reconcile to himself all other things, by making peace through the blood he shed on the torture stake, whether the things on the earth or the things in the heaven." The word other there, again, is not in the original text. Thus they suggest that Christ created all other things after he was created himself, but the word other is not in the Greek. So the comparative superlative force of prototokos is used firstborn of all creation, as in Colossians 1:18 and Romans 8:29 and Hebrews 1:6, etc. Paul is here refuting the errorists who might be Gnostics or pre-Gnostics who pictured Christ as one of the aeons by placing him before all creation, angels and men. So Paul uses both Greek words, icon and prototokos, to help express the deity of Jesus Christ in his relationship to the Father as icon, rendered image, and to the universe as prototokos, rendered firstborn. The whole point of this passage in Colossians chapter 1 and the whole book of Colossians is to prove out Christ's absolute superiority over all things. Hence he is God. And we have the rest of Scripture which corroborates his absolute sovereignty, which you can look at on this website as we further on down compare and corroborate. There are numerous places where this is corroborated, not once is it contradicted. That should be sufficient for this moment. See you next time.